Welcome to BlackVanClub, a digital platform dedicated to Black culture, talent, and events in Vancouver, Canada. And joining us today is the incredible Roy Wood Jr. Roy, welcome to Canada and to our platform.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I
How are you
said
liking it
it's
so
the
far?
day after Thanksgiving. I think it's a Saturday
Oh yeah,
after
no, it's
American
American theme.
Thanksgiving. Sorry, I don't
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
conversion rates. I
Yeah,
apologize.
yeah. Are there any things that you find or enjoy, find quirky about Canadian audiences and anything that differs to American ones?
They're generally nicer, but it's hard to say because at the time of this interview, we would have only done the eastern,
Yeah.
Atlantic provinces, and I know we're slowly inching our way Ottawa, Toronto, Calgary, and then we'll be over there by y'all by the end of everything. So I
Hmm.
would imagine it's no different than America, where the rural cities are a lot more closely knit and laugh harder. I
Hmm.
can tell you this much: in St. John's, when you start anywhere where it's super cold and rural,
Yeah.
them carbon tax jokes was hitting good. They
Yeah,
want
we
to
just
talk about that. I've been watching Canadian television. I've been watching the House of Commons. I thought this was a scripted show. I didn't know this was y'all's government for real. I I was just like, what TV show? Why these white people in suits keep yelling at each other?
yeah, gets crazy. It gets
That's all
crazy
they be doing.
there.
It's like battle rapping, but for politics. Like y'all take
Yeah.
turns, you get a set amount of time. This guy's a gangster. His real name's Clarence.
No, here.
Yeah, I've been Vancouver. Thankfully, I've been to before. Most of the cities on this tour I've never seen, never even heard of. Couldn't have found it on the map beforehand. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have known anything about Moncton, New Brunswick.
Oh yeah, I've never
You know,
been either.
had a great time. Asked him about the crime in Moncton. He said it's rampant drugs and prostitution. I said,
Oh,
sir, that is not crime. That is recreation. I'm an
oh
American.
my
I'm
God.
I'm asking about the murder. Who murdering here? That's what I'm worried. Like, I don't know if you've seen the footage from America. They be murdering.
I
Like,
mean, I think it's just a
oh,
common thread with Black people. We want to know where the danger is, you know?
literally, yo. That's I said, hey man, how do I need to make moves? Do I need to just stay? Because you'll ask a local where to go,
Yeah.
and somebody they'll have you on the wrong side of town. And
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah,
that's
I
true.
can't be over there. Like, because it's like I think like white people are seeing you somewhere where you shouldn't be as a black person. And then
Yeah.
black people sometimes will go, oh no, go to this spot. It's a good spot. Yeah, but if that spot is in a certain hood and I'm not rolling with a local, you know how it is. Like
Yeah,
the
no.
hood is same
We
all over. You got to be with a local in certain spots so you can make moves the right way.
obviously spent a large amount of your time on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. And that show definitely has a big impact, not just in the US, but for us as well in Canada, especially with you and Trevor on TV for Black audiences and Black people, seeing you guys night after night, speaking on important issues. That definitely was impactful, especially for us, for me anyway, personally. And I just like to acknowledge that impact that you guys have. And now that it's kind of drawn to a close and you've had some time to reflect, like what can you say about how your time with Trevor on there and the legacy that you guys helped build? Just speak to that. I don't know, some reflections
It
on that and the
was
legacy that you had.
Trevor was stellar at being able to come to a country he's not from and be able to
Mm-hmm.
help present different sides to an issue to help people look at it differently.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people off the top, they wanted him to be the battering ram like what Jon Stewart was. But Jon Stewart, as an American, is always going to approach these topics from a different emotional place um, than an out of towner. But I think what people learned over time under Trevor's regime, 7 years is a long time, man. And to be here and learn a lot about a culture, but then know when to joke, but more importantly, when to not joke. And
Mm-hmm.
to me, some of Trevor's most poignant moments, they weren't him trying to be funny. It was him trying to make sense of situations. We were off the air when the George Floyd footage was released in 2020, and when we came
Mm.
back on the air a week later, our country was burning.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting place for him to also start the conversation, but also to give space to the people that were on the ground doing all of the work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, the thing that that I will always appreciate about the Daily Show is that I got an opportunity. I did a number of stories on any topic you can name, but I
Mm-hmm.
also love the fact that I was also able to tell stories about the Black experience,
Mm-hmm.
in America, which I believe connects to everything else, culturally, globally.
Yeah.
I was never told no in that building.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue with most stories at the Daily Show is that you do not have time, because
Mm-hmm.
there's always a bigger story. There's always or
Yeah.
there's a personnel, there's a manpower issue. So, you know, that's the only thing that kept certain stories from happening. But, I got to go cover the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. I was in Atlanta last
Wow.
year, um, to cover a police training facility that's going to severely impact Black and Brown communities once it's built, and
Mm-hmm.
damage the environment. So it, it's it really was an honor for the last 8 years to be able to do that, and do it with a team of people that know how to help you make that point, but
Mm-hmm.
still make it fun, so hopefully someone listens.
I mean, I can tell you that it definitely resonated. And we were listening across the border, like we were watching, we were on us on social media, the clips, everything. It was impactful because that was definitely a big event. It was a seismic event. You spoke about George Floyd. There were protests organized in Vancouver. We felt that like that was a painful moment for anyone in the Black diaspora and anyone identified as Black. I mean, that pain, it doesn't matter where you're from. Like the States, Canada,
Correct.
those same themes they apply everywhere. The
Yeah.
races, the police, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I remember around that same time, and I think it was in 2020, it may have been the year after, but there was a serious police issue, and I think it was in Toronto, um, around that
Yeah.
same time. But there's we have the gift and the curse at the Daily Show of being able to talk about anything, but the curse is that we have to be able to make it funny.
Mm-hmm.
There's 1,000 other media outlets you can go to get the information. We're supposed to be the one that adds a little commentary and hopefully a little chuckle
Yeah. And I'm sure that
underneath it.
that must be difficult. Like I mean, obviously it's something that you do, but it's when something is so raw and fresh, it can be a little bit challenging, or maybe it's not. I don't know. You can speak to that.
You just have to give it time. You have to
Mm-hmm.
give it time. So you're not always going to be in a position to make something. And it's not your, it shouldn't be your mission to be
Mm-hmm.
first. Your mission should be to be the most poignant and to have the most unique opinion. And sometimes that takes a minute to cook up. So, I'm never in a rush.
Yeah. You think that maybe your roots, like in Alabama, your father, just how that has helped you throughout your career and speaking on important Black issues?
Yeah, my father, for the people who don't know, my father was a journalist who covered, the Soweto riots in South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
the Civil War in Rhodesia, well, Zimbabwe now,
Yeah.
but
I'm from Zimbabwe,
yeah.
actually.
Okay, so my daddy was there getting shot at.
Wow.
Like,
Wow, that's
like
crazy.
same game in Vietnam, same game with the civil rights movement in America, which in a way was its own type of civil war.
Yeah.
Um, so he definitely was no nonsense, and as I got older into my 30s and 40s, I started realizing, oh, yeah, I am just like him. I just have to figure out how
Mm,
to make it. I just got to make you chuckle with it, though.
yeah.
I'm not as cold blooded as my pops.
Just I'm sure, obviously, with the more heavy stuff, there was some lighthearted fun as well on set, I'm sure. Are there any like favorite moments that you had on set whilst working with Trevor and the cast and everything? Just
Oh, I mean, too many to name, but I will forever be grateful to Jordan Klepper,
mhm.
who has repeatedly shown me the ropes on how to move in large crowds of people.
Yeah.
And my partner Ronnie Chang, you know, Ronnie and I shared an office. Like, this is how close Ronnie and I were. Ronnie was the first person to find out that I had a child on the way.
Wow.
He was in the office when I got the call. So it was like, yo, this is, these are really good people. Um, like, I'm trying to think of anything, like any like crazy wild story,
I'm
but
sure
most of
they
that,
are.
but most of that stuff is like, I'm trying not to get people fired. A lot of people
Oh,
still
of
work
course, no,
there.
I don't
Okay.
want anyone to get in trouble. I don't want, don't share it if anyone's going to get in trouble. I don't want any calls.
No, I'll tell you a story about a death threat I got one time. No, I'll tell you
Oh,
that one. Now,
okay.
I didn't get death threats the way Trevor did or the way Hassan Minhaj did. And, I don't know if Klepper gets death threats. I know he gets like people like sending him like, stinky messages and email, but
Mm.
we were in Montana and we covered a pro gun rally where guns
Wow.
weren't allowed.
Oh,
Let me say it again. A pro gun rally where you can't bring your gun. So the game was simple. I'm gonna just go here and ask all these people where your gun at, and it was fine. It got laughs, cool.
wow.
Man, I get back to work like 2-3 weeks later. I get a message from a guy, like telegram, like a package. My man hand wrote a message, and in the box with it was a Bible. And in the message he wrote, "I forgive you for what you done to me." And then I open up the Bible, and it's just all highlighted stuff about revenge and vengeance is mine.
Oh, wow.
And it was him basically saying, yo, I should have beat your ass, but I didn't because I love Jesus now. But I'm like, you
Okay.
still you still thinking about beating my ass. I don't know how much
Oh,
you really love Jesus. So yeah, I ain't been back to Montana since 2019 is what I'm trying to tell you.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't,
That's wild. That's
yeah,
definitely
it's a
wild.
dude up there anxious to put hands on me, and I don't mean prayer.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, I don't know if I should thank you for sharing that, but we're thankful that you're still here and you could be with us today for sure. Just, I guess, lastly, just to wrap it up, there are a lot of like aspiring, Black comedians out there. Wondering, like, for the Black van community and our audience, like, what unconventional piece of advice that you could give to them that you wish you had?
Hang with people who have goals, not
Mm-hmm.
complaints. There's no reason to be around anybody that doesn't believe in themselves because they damn sure can't help you. They don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in themselves. Need to run, it's like those geese really are a great analogy, Canadian geese, where
Mm-hmm.
one geese is doing all the work and the rest are kind of drafting off that one, but they all take turns being the lead goose. You know what
Mm-hmm.
the hell I'm trying to say. Stop judging
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
um, but you need to run with people. You need to run with people. They don't have to have the same goals as you. They didn't have to have the same wants as you,
Mm-hmm.
but they have to have passion, and you have to be around passionate people. And if you're around passionate people, then everything else will fall into place. I spent so much time because comedians are cynics by nature,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't have to be like that. I spent a lot of time around people who just didn't believe in themselves, and it made me question myself sometimes. And that's not,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't allow myself the grace of being able to be dumb and just dream big.
Just to wrap up, you've got the show coming up in Vancouver, November 25th at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. Is there anything special you'd like to say to fans over here in Vancouver before the big night?
No, I'm just anxious for everybody to come out. And,
Mm.
I was hoping we could have two shows so you could bring the person you cheating with. But unfortunately,
Oh,
you're going to have to choose your main person. We only got one show.
all right.
So you got to bring your main chick. Or just bring the side chick. I don't know.
I mean, bring whoever you want. Well, thank you so, so much. It was a pleasure chatting with you. We'll see you on November 25th.
Okay, we'll do.
All right. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you.